You've got this personal security force working inside you, like 24/7. It's your body's ultimate guardian against infection, illness, and disease. We're talking, of course, about the amazing immune system. So let's picture this, right? A mosquito lands on your arm. It injects this little chemical cocktail into your skin and, well, starts to feed. Honestly, most of the time, you wouldn't even have a clue it was there.
If it weren't for that annoying red lump and, oh yeah, that unmistakable itch. But here's the thing. While it just feels like a nuisance, that little bump is actually a really important signal. It's a message from deep inside your body.
That little red bump? That's the very first visible sign of a huge, coordinated defense network kicking into high gear. It is literally your body's silent alarm system, letting you know that your guardians are on the job.
And we're talking about a massive network here, one that coordinates all of your body's defenses against any and all threats. And let's be super clear about this. Without it, you'd be totally vulnerable to billions of bacteria, viruses, and toxins. I mean, even something as simple as a paper cut could become a life-threatening event.
So who are the personnel running this whole security operation? Well, the immune system relies on millions and millions of defensive white blood cells, also known as leukocytes, which are actually born in our bone marrow.
And the scale of this internal army is just staggering. Get this. In a single drop of your blood, there are between 4 and 11,000 of these leukocyte cells. That's more soldiers than some countries have in their entire armies. And they're constantly patrolling your bloodstream and your lymphatic system, always screening for threats.
So, what exactly are they looking for? This is the crucial part. They're on the hunt for something called antigens. You can think of these as molecular ID tags on the surface of pathogens, like viruses and bacteria. These little traces totally give away the presence of an invader, and the second a leukocyte spots one, the immune response kicks in.
Now, the threats to our body are incredibly varied, right? So the response has to be just as adaptable and just as smart. The leukocytes coordinate this really sophisticated two-pronged attack, tackling threats in different ways.
Okay, so it all starts with the phagocytes. They're the first responders on the scene. They act kind of like Pac-Man, just gobbling up any foreign cells they can find. But they're also intelligence agents. After they neutralize a threat, they analyze its antigen and send that intel over to the lymphocytes, the special forces. And this is where the targeted strike begins, with T cells hunting down infected body cells and B cells creating custom weapons.
So to put it simply, you've got the front line and you've got the specialists. The phagocytes are those frontline soldiers. They patrol, they engage any enemy they see, and they gather that critical intelligence. The lymphocytes, they're the special forces. They get that intel, and then they execute a precise, targeted mission against that one specific enemy.
And here's the truly brilliant part. The B cells use that antigen information to produce proteins called antibodies. This is the absolute masterstroke of the immune response. Each antibody is custom-made to match a specific antigen, kind of like a key to a lock. Once it attaches, it completely neutralizes the invader. And get this, B cells can produce millions of these highly specific weapons. It's incredible. Now, while all of this is going on, those familiar symptoms we feel, like a fever or some swelling, those are actually signs that the battle is going really well. They are processes designed to help the immune response, and this just perfectly illustrates the system's most amazing feature, its ability to remember.
A high temperature isn't just a symptom, it's a tactic. A warmer body makes it much harder for temperature-sensitive bacteria and viruses to reproduce. And when you see swelling, well, that's damaged cells releasing chemicals that cause fluid to leak, which then attracts more of those frontline phagocyte cells to the battle. It's basically a call for reinforcements.
And here is the incredible long-term benefit. B cells and T cells, they have a memory. They don't just defeat an enemy, they create a file on it. So if that same threat ever comes back, they can immediately deploy the perfect antibodies to crush it before it can even cause any harm. This is exactly how you develop lifelong immunity to diseases like chickenpox.
Of course, it doesn't always work perfectly. Some people have what are called autoimmune diseases, which basically trick the immune system into attacking the body's own perfectly healthy cells. This can lead to all sorts of problems like arthritis, type 1 diabetes, and multiple sclerosis, which just goes to show how complex and how finely tuned this system really has to be.
But for most of us, most of the time, this system is our silent, tireless, lifelong protector, fighting off just innumerable threats without us even noticing a thing.
And to give you a real sense of its workload, it's estimated that a healthy immune system will successfully fight off around 300 colds over the course of a lifetime. And that's not even mentioning the countless other potential infections that never even get a foothold.
So the next time you scratch a mosquito bite or feel a cold coming on, just take a second to think of the unbelievably complex, intelligent, and powerful system working inside you. Because without it, none of us would be here. We truly, truly owe it our lives.